Welcome to the next video. So I just wanted to talk about how we can open our configured project in Visual Studio. So not VS Code, just the regular Visual Studio for Windows. And inside your build directory, there should be a project solution, so a .sln file generated, which is a Visual Studio project solution. And you can just open this file and then your Visual Studio should launch. So for example, here I've installed 2022. And you should see an empty project here like this. So here we have the project solution. We have different projects inside, and each project is a CMake target, let's say. So we have the all build, the docs, FMT, lib, main, SPD log, unit tests, run Clang format, run CMake format. In the all build, if you open this, you will see the main CMake file of the root directory, where we have set our settings here. If you change some CMake files, so for example, we want to turn this off here, then you have to build the all build, because then this configure and generate steps executed. And since we have regenerated our project here based on the CMake files, Visual Studio needs to do a reload. So, or sometimes Visual Studio just says in a little window, hey, I have to reload this because you have changed some CMake settings here that might also change the targets here, for example. So always click on rebuild or our all build target, and then everything gets reconfigured. Or you can also reconfigure this just in the console, for example. Then, for example, if you want to execute our main executable, we can do right click, set as starter project, and then we can just click on run and compile, for example, and our application would be run. The same applies for the unit tests. Just click set up as starter project, and we could execute this. Also here, for example, in our library, we would see the header files and source files that are associated with this. And there's a note in the Clang Tidy video. I said we can run Clang Tidy here in Visual Studio, but we have to click something in the user interface here. So, for example, if we want to run Clang Tidy for our library target, I have to do a right click, then go to Analyze, run Code Analysis on lib, and then Clang Tidy is, for example, executed. Maybe there's a note if you go to Properties, down below to Code Analysis, you should see that Clang Tidy is enabled, and you could also use Microsoft Code Analysis. However, this tool is much slower than Clang Tidy and is not more sophisticated than Clang Tidy, so it's sufficient to only use Clang Tidy, let's say. There also, if you go to C++ General, here we could enable an address sanitizer by ourselves. Yeah, we only can activate this by clicking here in the user interface. We can't do this by CMake settings, unfortunately. Also, you would see here which level we have activated, for example, and under optimization, you would see that, for example, here, this setting is this LTO, this link time optimization is enabled, for example, but only for the release build and not, for example, for the debug build, because there we don't need this stuff. Okay, this is how you could set some further settings here in the user interface. And here we also see the warnings from Clang Tidy about, for example, here, hey, you have an unused variable, hey, you have allocated memory, but this memory is not freed, so you have a leak of memory, and so on. So as you can see, we can run Clang Tidy also here in Visual Studio, but just by this right-clicking, not really automated, but nevertheless, we could use it and we should use it. If I have missed anything about the workflow here in the regular Visual Studio, you can issue a question and say, hey, I want to see how I can do this and that, and then we'll just edit the video.